I have lost 15 pounds since the beginning of my diet. If I was not looking at the scale every day, I would have almost no idea how much weight I've lost. I probably would say like 5 pounds. Because when you get in the flow of it, yesterday and today just meld together, and I don't look, I don't feel, I don't perform any differently today than I did yesterday. I think that's the same type of feeling we get when it comes to growth in general.
There's an objective measurement of objective truth of progress, and then there's the way you feel about that progress. I think progress and making progress feels really good, but a lot of times if you aren't measuring something along the way, it's very hard to tell whether or not you're actually making real progress.
Next Level Nation today for episode number 2048. Happy Friday if you were listening to this on the day it goes live. Why it doesn't feel like you're growing. So, last night, I had a long ass day. I told Taryn, I said, I had 15 times throughout the day where I said, there's no way I can get all of this done. And all of this is time sensitive and all of it needs to be done. I got it all done. Awesome.
Nice work.
It was terrible. I was eating dinner and I had one of those nights where Taryn was out. It was just me and the kitties. And I was like, what do I want to do? Do I want to watch something? So I start by listening to music. And the music gets progressively sadder and sadder and sadder. And then at one point, I'm just like sitting on the couch crying. Like, not like a bad cry. And I said, shit, I got to go look at some old episodes. That's the flow. That's how it goes. So I started with episode 1000, Alan and I bawling our eyes out. And I just jumped around and I went back. And I had this very humbling moment where I'm watching episode 1000. And I was like, Kev, you are pretty fucking bad. I mean, you did this more than 1,000 times up until that point. I was like, this isn't great compared to where you are today. It's not great. I started that episode out with like a 12-minute monologue. I just fucking went, Alan. It was like you weren't even there. It was like I was doing a solo episode. And I was like, he must have so much, he's so self-secure because you're just like staring into the camera the whole time and I'm just going. And I'm doing that right now. I'm on that track right now.
Were we this was virtual, right?
This was virtual, yeah. We were both looking directly into the camera. The lighting was worse. The sound was probably better because we're figuring shit out over here.
The sound was better?
I don't know. I was watching on my TV, so it's hard to tell.
Please tell me that's not true.
No, I wouldn't say the sound is better. Well, we've had a lot of anomalies come up, but I just had a very humbling moment where I remember thinking, I thought I was really good 1,000 episodes in. When I look back from this new perspective, this new perch, I realize how much higher I am now than I was at the time. But you never know that unless you got to 1,000. And then you'd never know that if you stopped. You'd say, oh yeah, I was a really good podcaster. Compared to what? Compared to somebody who just started? Yeah, compared to you at 100 and 200 and 500, sure. But only today do I know that I wasn't that good then. Because I kept going. And I think that is, maybe we can make something up, I don't know. But that's why progress and growth is so hard, because unless something meaningful happens, unless you have checkpoints, it's really hard to even know that you're growing. You might feel different. It's really hard to quantify that. It's really hard to define that. So I know this is something we've talked about before, but when I have those moments, it just blows my mind that I thought I was good. Statistically, I think we were really good because most people don't go to 1,000 episodes. Now at 2,000 episodes, I think I was shit.
Yeah. What's the lesson for the future?
I suck now, too. And I'm way better than I was at 1,000, but I'm not nearly as good as I will be at 3,000. That's it. And it's that way forever. But that's why when you stop, you are signing an agreement that says, I'm okay with being where I am. I do not want to get any better, and I'm not committed to get any better. You're not going to get better by stopping. That's not going to work.
I think this is the main issue. And I said this to a client, you know who you are, 2 days ago. Every goal you set in the future is going to require a negative feeling in the present. Progress feels I want to make sure I articulate this correctly. Okay. In the beginning, I thought I was a strong speaker, and then I realized I sucked when we went and saw Brendan Burchard. Compared to him, I had the moment of, I'm nowhere near this guy. And this is back then, 2018 timeframe. Kev goes, and he thinks he's not going to fit in at all in this environment, and he ends up being ahead of the audience, statistically speaking. More clarity, more dialed in, more habits, whatever. I go comparing to Brendan. He goes comparing to the audience. I leave with humble pie. I always say, I've started saying, aim too high and you get humble pie.
Ooh, nice.
Aim too low and you don't grow.
Ooh, shit. That's bumper sticker material right there in a positive way, not a bad
I want to
way.
give you a little backstory of why I remember that so well. I gave a speech at Toastmasters, which was also a big milestone of, oh, I am a strong speaker. Because most of the time I feel like I'm not. Filler words, whole thing. I get a lot of emails, tons of praise, grateful. If anyone's listening, by the way, that was at Toastmasters, and you're listening to, you checked out the episode, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Got lots of love, wow, blown away, all this stuff. Appreciate it. I get an email from Dia. Shout out to Dia if you're listening. She's the one who invited me. I was on her podcast. You were on her podcast. And she said, hey, things like this bug me, and I don't want to impose, but would you be open to some feedback? I did find one spelling error on one of your slides. And I had a moment of course, absolutely. Yes, please tell me. Seriously, where? I reviewed them. I'm surprised, but let's figure it out. The slide, you know the self-belief slide that we have with the pyramid? Mm-hmm. At the top, it said, aim too high and you'll eat humble pie. And at the bottom, it said, aim too low and you won't grow. T-O instead of T-O-O.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, on both of them. So now I fixed it. So now I memorized that because of that whole experience. Just take you behind the scenes. What was I talking about? Oh, progress. I think short term, it usually feels... Okay, objective truth and logic, emotion. Getting better feels like shit emotionally. The reason why is because in order to get better, you have to look at where you suck. So it doesn't feel good. However, when you realize you've made a ton of progress, sometimes that can feel good. But I think progress is very hard to notice because it never feels like it's happening. It's almost like you feel worse. In the beginning, I thought I was a great speaker. I don't feel like a great speaker now until I go to Toastmasters and realize that the reps have paid off.
Yeah. Well, there needs to be some sort of finish line. It's not a real finish line. There needs to be a checkpoint. And the checkpoint allows you to look back on the previous version of you.
Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes.
If we think of it this way, what is the creature that's in the pot of boiling water?
Frog.
The frog. I like frogs, so I don't really
apparently
want to...
that's not true.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, apparently
Of course it's not. When the water gets hot, anything's going to jump out. It's not going to stay there till it boils to death. What are we doing here? But the thought process was, if you put a frog in a pot of water and you just turn the temperature up a little bit, and you turn it up a little bit, and you turn it up a little bit, the frog doesn't know that it's going to boil to death, even though it would, because I feel like that's just basic instinct, survival 101. But for the sake of this episode, are you really going to know the difference between 70 degree water and 75 degree? If you get in a pool and it goes from 70 degrees to 75 degrees over the course of an hour, you think you're going to know the difference? No way.
Over the course of an hour, no.
No way.
If you ever go from hot tub to pool?
Of course. It's terrible.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's terrible.
You ever go from pool to hot tub?
It's also terrible in the opposite way. But if it's spread out over time, you might not notice.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get used to 70 degrees, it then becomes 71 degrees. By the time it goes to 72 degrees, you're already used to 71. So you're not comparing to 70, you're comparing to 71. By the time you're at 74, you're comparing to 74, not 70. So it's the thing you're comparing to is not where you started. It's the last checkpoint you went through.
Yeah. This is why I'm so big on objective measurement. That's why we always track metrics and habits. It's really important to see how far we've come. But here's the thing. We track quarterly metrics and habits. If you look back 1 quarter, there's progress for sure. If you look back 3 years, it's insane. It's insane. It's your new walking pace is your old all-out sprint. But all along the way, you have to trust that that's the case. I was on with a client earlier today. And I said, dude, I need to show you where we start everybody on group coaching because you have lost it. You do not understand. This dude has 15 metrics, 3 self-esteem builders, and 18 habits. I said, you have lost perspective on what it's like to not track habits. Let me show you where we start people in group coaching. And this is no shade thrown at group coaching. Kevin started with 5. I started with these little black notepads 10 years ago. I pulled them both up. And I said, this is where you started too. 6 habits. Now look at your sheet. You don't even remember what it's like. You don't even remember. Do you remember what it was like to have 5 habits?
I feel like I have a decent memory of it. I don't ever want to lose sight of it.
Well, you're consciously trying not to lose sight of it. I lose sight of stuff all the time. Emilia and I were talking the other day, and I said, I feel like we suck sometimes because we aren't good at communicating things that we don't deal with anymore. Okay, let me give you an example. A lot of people are asking, how do you guys stay motivated? I have no fucking idea. I can't remember the last time I wasn't motivated. Seriously.
I can.
Okay. Well, then that's something you should teach because
because I don't know. It's not that I get motivated. I just go sit in the office for a while and then I get overwhelmed with work and I start working. It's not, I don't know.
There are base level problems that we forgot we even had. At least Emilia and I. One of the challenges in Relationship Talks coaching, and one of the benefits of it too, we have the Conscious Couples podcast, and we're trying to, the brainstorming sessions that I have with Emilia to try to figure out what's relevant. We had a comment on YouTube of a guy who is going through it with his wife, and I had to sit down with Emilia and say, can we try to go back? Like, what was it like back when we were with a partner that wasn't... Because Emilia and I, we've never fought. We don't really argue. It's just, it works really well. We're both pretty motivated. We work together. We live together. We share a car. Like, our life is magnificent, and I'm grateful. But I remember back in the day, it was always... it was constant. It was so fucking frustrating. It was so bad, like, in comparison. And here's the thing. I remember my friends back then are like, you have the best relationship ever. And I remember thinking, yeah, compared to yours. But trust me, this sucks. It's all relative. Everything is relative. You might think Kevin and I are great speakers, but you should have heard the way I was talking about after reviewing Next Level Live. Next Level Live, I reviewed it. Every other word I said like or you know. Most people wouldn't even notice that. I don't think I've said many filler words on this episode. Kevin would notice. But it all depends, right? If you're into football and you watch a football game, you're noticing details no one else notices. When you watch fights, you're noticing things I wouldn't notice because you've done martial arts. I think that there's just infinite distinctions and infinite growth, but along the way, you have to trust that it's happening, even though you kind of don't know that it's happening.
What is the next level lesson? What is the takeaway based on this? Because obviously this is more of this is like a deeper thoughts, awareness type episode.
This will be very, very brief. I used to suck at timing. I was so bad with time. And I'm still tough. Like, I'm still late sometimes. I'm not perfect. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to speaking in a certain amount of time, I used to be so bad at that. The first live event we co-hosted, I was over by, I think I only got through 2/3 of my whole presentation. At Toastmasters, they had green for 10 minutes, yellow for 5 minutes, red for 1 minute. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm good. I'll just set a timer. And I was down to the 20-second mark. So it was 29 minutes, 40 seconds was a 30-minute speech. But that's just, I'm suddenly good with time now. I never was good with time. I think it's just the reps. I mean, speaking of that, I'm fucking it up in real time right now. But at the end of the day, it's because we are always up against a deadline. So that progress, my next level lesson is progress is happening, whether you're aware of it or not, if you're putting in the reps and if you're consistent.
I can't speak to this enough because I've said it so many times. We do a lot of episodes, so you probably don't remember it. You need to create checkpoints. We have a checkpoint every day, this podcast. Every single day we record an episode, I can go back and see Kevin 2 years ago. Live, I can see it. This was good, this wasn't good. He was super passionate that day, he looked tired, whatever. Create some level of checkpoint. Take out your phone, record a video, take out your phone, record an audio, journal, take a picture of yourself, date it. I have an album in my phone right now for this bulk and this cut. When I'm down at 170 pounds, I'm going to look at the whole thing. I can't tell how different I look right now, but I guarantee when I go through there, if I was to do day 1, day 2, day 3, boom, 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 you'd be able to see the change over the course of it, but you wouldn't be able to see it day to day. All right, cool. If you are looking for a group of like-minded humans who are into personal development, who want to become successful through personal development, we have a private Facebook group called Next Level Nation. We'll have the link in the show notes, and we have a free capital F, capital R, capital E, free book club every single Saturday, 12:30 Eastern time. I'm still not invited. I'm trying to work out who to speak to directly to be allowed into the group club, the book club, but Alan runs that. They are reading Reset by Dan Heath. So join us. You do not have to have read the book. You don't have to participate. If you want to be around next level books with next level people, that is the place for you. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.